This is Jay Norris with Brewer FX here in Chicago. Today's Thursday, November the 6th. Welcome back to our video tutorial. The first market we cover. Well, before we get rolling, I do want to point out that futures and Forex is a risky endeavor and not suitable for all investors. The first market we're going to cover is the Euro-US dollar. Lower right on the daily chart, you can see we had a change of direction candle here. That's a bearish development. However, you're still in a sideways market. You're still in counter trend market on the daily. Upper right here, you can see we actually have a series of higher lows still holding on the 4-hour chart, and generally sideways trade. The pound, upper right, the 4-hour chart, you see you made a lower low. You took out that low we had earlier in the month. Short-term trend down on the 4-hour chart. Similar short-term trend down on the daily chart. Looks like you have a bad tick there. You want to overlook that. But intermediate-term trend, long-term trend, short-term trend, all down here. So it's going to be hard to see some kind of a recovery here without at least a test of down towards the October lows, if not a new low. So hard to call it. Australian dollar. Daily chart on the Aussie dollar here. That's interesting. Looks like you have a potential head and shoulders setting up here with the right shoulder coming in. Just eyeballing that. Looks like it's going to need to test these lows we had at the end of October. Overall, though, the daily chart sideways here as it's attempting to sew in some kind of a bottom there. Aussie dollar on the upper right on the 4-hour chart. You can see you still have a pattern of well, just barely you have higher lows here. Short-term trend on the 4-hour chart down, as is the long-term trend. So I think you'll see some more downside there. Overall, dollar yen, lower right. The dollar yen, you had a change of direction candle yesterday on the daily. You followed through with a lower candle today. That's definitely a sell signal. So you could see a continuation of the strong yen. So what we have here is you've got the primary trend down, secondary trend down. Now we're getting a sell signal on the daily chart, and that's a trend trade. So I think I don't know if we'll have a retest of these lows down here, but it certainly looks like it wants to test 95. We'll have to see. Canadian dollar, Canadian saw some dollar strength here, U.S. dollar strength. The daily chart here on the right, it looks like you're pulling out of this secondary correction you had here. Short-term trend not quite higher, but it's pointing in that direction. Upper right, the 4-hour chart, short-term trend higher, primary trend higher. So it'd be hard to short the dollar CAD here. Looks like more dollar strength to come for that pair. Dollar chief. You can see it made a higher high in the week on the left here. Daily chart on the right. You had a pretty good benchmark candle today on the right. It just keeps creeping higher. It looks like you have a little bit of resistance in the way. Today's highs, but the trend very much higher. And I see no reason to think that anything is going to shift there with all time frames pointing in the same direction. Euro yen. Euro yen on the daily chart. Euro yen, you're basically in a sideways market here. Sideways counter trend. Looks like you're getting towards the bottom of that range. We probably see it a little clearer on the upper right. Upper right, you still have a pattern of higher lows here. We'll see how long those hold, being the carry trade is basically a slave to the U.S. stock market lately. That's a word of caution ahead of this number tomorrow, too, that with the carry trades following the U.S. stock market so closely, the majors following the U.S. stock market so closely, you could have a strange situation tomorrow where you get a pretty big negative number and it ends up conversely being dollar bullish. I know that would seem counterintuitive, but the way things have been following the stock market lately, that's a possibility, so we'll have to see. The pound yen, lower right, it made a lower low today. It looks like it's still questionable whether we're seeing a resumption of the overall trend or we're just seeing a bull flag here or consolidation. It did, however, give a sell signal. You can see separation on the moving averages there. You got a pretty good sell signal here. Separation on the stochastic is what I wanted to point out. It's a situation similar to dollar yen, where you've got a sell signal on the daily with the primary and secondary trend lower. So that's going to be a hard one to buck for us. But we'll keep an eye on that, and I certainly want to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you tomorrow. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Here's the number. It's coming up, and you can see our website there. You want to check out our blog also. There we go. And we'll be back here tomorrow. As usual, continue to send me emails if you have any questions, and I'll get back to those. Thank you very much.